Welcome back. You're looking to get smart, fast right, to really understand the big shifts happening.
That's what I do here.
And today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating in the car world. The tech that might just make luxury electric vehicles, well, a lot more affordable.
Yeah, exactly. We're digging into the second part of a blog post by Dovydas Mockevicius. It's called Innovators versus Bystanders Beyond We've Always Done It This Way.
Quite a title.
It is, and the subtitle gets right to it. Tech that makes 150K class vehicles possible for under 2050K.
Okay, Dovydas Mockevicius. Let's talk about him for a second. He's the CEO and enterprise architect at IS Cloud, founder of SFC&C. And importantly for this tech focus, he's a Salesforce certified technical architect candidate.
Right, that CTA candidacy is a big deal. It means he understands really complex digital systems. And his background, it fits perfectly, 9 years deep in Salesforce.
Working across the board too, consultancies, end users, Salesforce partners.
And he's led these big multi-cloud transformations in, over 26 countries. So he's seen how this stuff gets implemented globally.
And here's the direct link. He was head of Salesforce at Volta Trucks.
Yeah, that's key. He was building their Salesforce Automotive CPQ Experience Clouds program from scratch. So hands-on EV industry experience.
You can see the credibility building. He's worked with big names too, like AXA, Barclays, Vodafone.
Definitely. Plus, a whole stack of Salesforce certifications, identity, admin, CPQ developer, and Safe Agilist too. So he gets the tech and the process.
He's even got awards for sales and leadership.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established he knows his stuff.
Absolutely. Deep Salesforce expertise, direct EV automotive experience.
So our mission today, unpack the key tech and platforms Dovydas Mockevicius identifies in that blog post, the ones enabling this potential affordability shift in luxury EVs.
Right. And the core theme really is about bridging this innovation gap he talks about, moving past the old ways of doing things in the auto industry.
To get to that Tesla, BYD, XPeng level of innovation, but cheaper.
That's the idea, delivering high-end EVs, but yeah, at much lower cost for you, the buyer.
Okay, so how? What's the how, according to the post?
Well, the central piece seems to be these end-to-end AI-driven, full life cycle digital twin solutions.
Digital twins.
Okay, the argument is that these can unlock, huge productivity gains that older systems just couldn't manage.
Right, so breaking down those old silos, the legacy systems.
Exactly. He talks about leading OEMs moving to cloud-native, modular, AI-first platforms, replacing lots of old, monolithic, on-prem stuff.
And that leads to unprecedented productivity.
That's the claim, getting rid of the fragmentation.
Okay, let's get into the specifics. Digital twins.
Yeah.
How do they actually help build cars cheaper?
Well, think of it like a super detailed virtual model.
Yeah.
It could be a model of the car itself or the factory floor or even the whole supply chain.
A living model.
Yeah, a dynamic virtual representation. So you can simulate, test, optimize all in the digital world before you spend money on physical parts or factory time. Imagine tweaking a production line virtually to find bottlenecks.
Okay, that makes sense. Less physical prototyping, faster testing cycles.
Precisely. And Mockevicius points out that top companies are adopting these cloud-native AI-first platforms to kind of, replace all those disconnected legacy systems.
Right. So let's talk platforms. He mentioned specific categories. First up, digital twins and smart factories.
He does. And interestingly, he calls out Salesforce Automotive Cloud specifically here.
Salesforce Automotive Cloud. So connecting sales, service, dealers, manufacturing.
Yeah, bringing those different pieces together on one platform, eliminating silos, streamlining how things work, which boosts efficiency in manufacturing execution systems, for example.
Okay, what else is in that category?
He lists others too, like AWS IoT Twin Maker, Azure Digital Twins, PTC ThingWorks combined with Ansys Twin Builder, and Siemens with their Technomatics, Ops Center, Team Center, PLM, and MindSphere. Lots of tools.
So a whole ecosystem of tools for building and managing these virtual models, from factory design to production flow.
Exactly. Those are the engines driving that virtual optimization.
Got it. Then the next category is R&D and PLM, product lifecycle management. This is the actual design part.
Right. Research, development, design. Here he mentions Ars Innovator, and he specifically flags it as low code.
Low code, meaning faster development, less traditional programming.
Yeah, potentially. It allows for building and customizing complex applications more quickly, which could speed up R&D and cut costs. He also lists the big established players: Dassault's KT3 Experience, Siemens NX, PTC Creo, and Windchill PLM.
These are the heavy-duty tools engineers use for designing the vehicle and managing its whole life, concept to end of life.
Correct. The core engineering tool sets.
That low-code aspect sounds interesting for agility. Okay, next, supply chain and planning. Crucial for EVs, right? Batteries, global parts.
Absolutely critical. He mentions Kinaxis Rapid Response and Coupa, which now includes Lamasoft.
And these tools help manage that complexity.
Yeah, they're about making the supply chain smarter. Forecasting demand, optimizing how materials flow, planning. With EV supply chains being so complex, these tools are vital for, minimizing disruptions and keeping costs down.
Makes sense. And the last tech category, ERP and data platforms, the sort of central hub.
You could say that, the nervous system. And interestingly, he specifically mentions Rootstark ERP running on Salesforce.
Ah, connecting back to his expertise.
Right. And ERP integrates core stuff like finance, manufacturing, supply chain. Running it on Salesforce could mean tighter links to customer data, sales, service.
Okay, and other data platforms.
He also lists Databricks Lakehouse and Palantir Foundry. These are powerful platforms for handling and analyzing massive amounts of data.
So pulling data from everywhere, design, production, supply chain, to find insights and efficiency.
Exactly. Making data-driven decisions across the board.
Okay, so that's the tech stack, more or less. Now, the big payoff, cost reduction. The blog post makes some pretty bold claims here.
It really does. Mockevicius suggests that by putting all these pieces together, the digital twins, AI, software-defined architectures, EV makers could potentially cut core vehicle costs by, well, around 40 to 50%.
40 to 50%, that's huge.
Yeah.
That would fundamentally change the market for luxury EVs.
It's a massive number. But he doesn't stop there. He talks about AI as an amplifier.
Amplifying the savings.
By layering AI across everything, design, production, supply chain, even after-sale service, the idea is that this pervasive AI could push the total savings up to potentially 65%.
65%.
Yeah, 65. That's where the vision of truly affordable luxury EVs, maybe even those low-cost subscription models, starts to feel, well, possible.
That is genuinely staggering. It really paints a picture of technology completely reshaping the economics here. And he zooms out at the end, right? Beyond just cars.
He does. He positions what's happening in automotive as like a case study for a much bigger trend. Technology redefining industries, business models, our daily lives, really.
Suggesting we're heading into another big wave of disruption.
Seems to be the implication, yeah. Driven by these connected, intelligent digital solutions.
It definitely gets you thinking. He finishes the post with a question for readers, and I think it's a good one for you listening too. Which of these innovations do you believe will compound fastest in your organization?
It's a great question because it pushes you to think beyond automotive.
Right. How relevant are these digital twin, AI, cloud platform ideas to other businesses, other sectors?
Because the underlying principles, virtual optimization, AI-driven efficiency, integrated platforms, they aren't limited to cars. They could drive similar changes almost anywhere.
So wrapping this up, the key takeaway from this deep dive into Dovydas Mockevicius' post is the sheer potential of these digital twin and AI platforms, highlighted by someone deep in Salesforce and the EV world, to slash costs and really shake up the EV market.
Making luxury EVs potentially reachable for a lot more people.
But it's not just about having the tech, is it?
No, absolutely not. His point seems to be that realizing these gains, especially those massive cost reductions, needs real strategic vision and focus from companies to actually implement and integrate everything effectively. It's not automatic.
It gives you a lot to chew on. I mean, thinking about that 65% potential saving in cars really makes you ask, what other industry is next? Where else could these combined digital and AI approaches lead to such radical transformation?
Yeah, what does that mean for affordability and innovation everywhere else?
Definitely something to think about. And remember, this was just part 2 of his blog post. There might be more insights still to come.